What's up, everybody? I'm going to give just a few minutes, let folks start coming up in this thing. It's 2018. It's happening, baby. It's happening. It is going down. 2018. Here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, it's a little crazy outside. They got like winter advisory. It's crazy. But it's beautiful outside, and we are on New Year's Eve on the verge of 2018. It's the last couple of hours of 2017, which for some people they're very, very excited about. For others, they hate to see 2017 go. Whichever boat you're in, it doesn't really matter. If you're excited that 2017's over or you're sad that it's over, it doesn't really matter because we got 2018 around the corner and you can't stop it. And so you gotta embrace it and just be excited about it. So we're gonna give just a few seconds before I get started. I got a little message that I want to share today. I just want to bring a little value to your life as we end 2017 and we roll in to 2018. If you're watching this, of course, this is live right now, but if you're watching this on the replay, would you just, if you get some value from this, would you just share it with somebody? I'm really gearing this message. I mean, it's going to help anybody and everybody who pays attention to it. It can help you in some way. I think you're going to find some value in it. But especially if you know somebody who's a young person, middle school, high school, college age, what I'm going to share is a message that I call Look. The message is Look. You see it on my board behind me. Whoop, whoop. There it is. Look. And there's just, 5 directions to look for change in your life this year in 2018. So whether you have had an incredible year or whether you haven't, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day because now we've all got to start fresh. We all get a brand new start. And so hopefully you're as excited as I am about it. Every year, this is my favorite time of the year. I like to declutter. I like to go through all my junk drawers that I have in my bathroom. I just pull stuff out. I actually found this year almost $250 worth of gift cards that I have accumulated, that people have given me for Christmas or birthday, whatever, that I've come up with gift cards that I never used all of them. Some of them I used a large part of them, but other ones I still had $50 to $100 left on them. I'm like, what the heck have I been doing? I didn't even know these things were in there. But that's what happens when we start getting junk built up in our life. You don't even know stuff that's there. It's been there for a while and you don't even know it. So this time of year is really cool for me because I like to declutter a little bit. I like to just kind of look back and see where I've been and look forward to see where I'm headed and just get excited about the future. I say it all the time. If you follow my content at all, I say all the time, if you don't like where you've been, there's good news. You get to make a choice today on where you go from here. That's the beautiful thing about life is if you don't like where you are, you get to make a choice on where you go from here. You either keep going down a miserable road or you decide today that you're going to change direction and start fresh, start doing something a little bit different with your life. And so I hope you find that encouraging as we are in the last hours of 2017, approaching 2018, that you're just believing for big things. You're believing that 2018 is going to be the best year of your life. Because I'm believing that for my life and my family. I just believe that my health is going to be the best it's ever been. Finances are going to be good. My life, my relationship with Jesus is going to be at an all-time high. My relationship with my wife is just going to be thriving. We're going to continue raising little man in a great way, and we're going to see him grow and change so much in a positive way in this year. And so hopefully you're on board with that. But I want to jump right in. There's a message that I really want to share with you today, and it's the message of look. Look, so this is how it's going to be. I got my PowerPoint. Hopefully you can get some stuff out of it. The idea is look, 5 directions to look for change in your life. I'm not going to be long. I know it's at the time of this recording, at least you may watch this well into 2018, but the time of this recording is December 31st, 2017. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. A lot of people are stuck at home because the weather's crazy, at least in Tuscaloosa. And so maybe you find this video and you find it encouraging. You find it valuable to you. But I want to give you 5 directions that I'm going to be looking for change in my life in 2018. And I want to encourage you to take a deep look at yourself and at your life for this year and see where you want to go. So you ready for the 5 directions? If you're coming in late on this thing, then you might want to go back in and watch from the beginning. But here are the 5 directions. Here we go. Number 1 is to look in. Look in. This is an internal look. You say, this is the big question for the look in, okay? What can I control that I need to look into? I like the saying, there are some things I can control and there are some things I cannot control. That's so true, isn't it? I can control some things I can't. And this is really a personal issue. You need to know that there are some things you and I control. And some of those things, diet or nutrition, exercise. We control a lot of what we do with our time. I know most of us have jobs, or we're in school, or we have family. There are things that we have obligations to and things that we need to pay attention to with our time. But for the most part, we get to choose a lot what we do with our time. And so that's a good thing. We control what we do with our time, and you need to make the most of your time. We control our media intake. What movies are you watching? What music are you listening to? What books are you reading? This is very important to put good things in your life, good things in your mind, good things in your soul. So control your media the best that you can. Your attitude, we control our attitude. You know what? There are a lot of things that we don't control, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But we control our attitude. And so this year, 2018, I want to control my attitude in a great way. I want to have the best attitude I possibly can. I want to keep a smile on my face, even in difficult days. We control our language. And I don't just mean clean or dirty and, cussing and that kind of thing. I mean, we control the language that we use in our life, whether we are encouraging somebody else or pulling them down, whether we're saying positive things in their life or negative things in their life. We control our language. So diet, exercise time, media, attitude. Of course, there are a lot of things that we do control, other things than that, but those are just a few things that I wanted to share right off the bat. Direction number 1 that we need to look for change in our life in 2018. We need to look in. Look in. Okay? That's internal. Look in. The second direction that we need to look out. Obviously, looking out, that's external. I just said there are some things I can control. There are some things I cannot control. What can I not control that I need to look out for? Right? And this is kind of a responsibility issue. I say responsibility. I really could spell that response-ability. It's your ability to respond to situations that you don't control. It's external. Some of the things that unfortunately you and I cannot control. We can't control what somebody else thinks of us. We can't control what somebody else says about us or to us. And we can't control what somebody else does. Now, in a world of control freaks, we want to be in control of everything. And we just talked about some things that we can control. And here are some things that we can't control. So although I don't control what somebody else thinks or what somebody else says, we live in the internet age where somebody, and I always think about this as a speaker and as an author, somebody can go online and write anything they want to about Russ, about me. It could be true or not. They could write anything they want. And the bad thing is, whether or not it's true, there's a good chance you're going to believe it if somebody writes it, right? And then it just snowballs. Somebody writes it, somebody else takes it and runs with it and changes it, adds something to it. They're just things that I can't control. And so this year in 2018, I need to look out and say, those things that I can't control, I need to respond the best that I can. My responsibility in the issue is to respond to the best of my ability. I use the example of my diabetes all the time. You're probably tired of hearing it if you've been following my content, but I was diagnosed with diabetes at the age of 13. I did not control that. It was outside my control. But I did control the response that I had to the issue. And I don't know about you, but in 2018, I want to choose the best response to these issues that are outside of my control, the best that I can. So number one, we're going to look in. I want to look inwardly at myself and say, man, what are the things that I can control? And I want to control them the best that I possibly can, the things that I can control. Then I want to look out and I want to say, what can I not control that I need to look out for? And I want my response, my ability to respond to those issues to be the best that it possibly can. Okay. The third way, you hanging in there with me? Who's here with me? You here? Hanging in, hanging out. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing. I really do appreciate it if you share the stream. I just believe 2018 is going to be the best year of your life. And I hope you're hanging in there with me and believing it too. So we're going to look in. We're going to look out. Number 3, we're going to look up. This is eternal. Look in is internal. Look out is external. Look up is eternal. And the question here is, how can I be who I'm called to be? Which really means who he has called me to be. And this is a spiritual issue. Some things to consider here is, what is God's plan for my life? What role do I play in his big plan? He's got a plan for your life. He's also got a big plan. What role do I play in his big plan? And then the idea of seeking first his kingdom. Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and everything else will be added on to that. I mean, just seek him first. In every situation, look up. And this really should be number 1, right? Look up. How can I be who he has called me to be? It's a spiritual issue. What is God's plan for my life? I believe he has a plan for your life. Just because you don't yet know that he has a plan for your life doesn't mean he doesn't have one, right? Just because you haven't yet found the person he has for you doesn't mean that there's not somebody out there for you. And so 2018, I want it to be the best year of my life spiritually. I want to be so in key and in tone with what God has for my life that I'm following him every step of the way. I'm being who he has called me to be. I'm making an eternal impact on lives. And so for you, may 2018 cause you to look up, and it calls you to really think through your life spiritually and what God's plan is for your life and what he's done for your life and who he wants you to be in this world and what difference, what role does he have for you in his kingdom this year. Okay? Look in, look out, look up. And here's the 4th one. Look down. Look down. Look in is internal. Look out is external. Look up is eternal. Look down is influential. And the big question with look down is, how can I impact the next generation? And this is a legacy issue. I love talking about legacy. I love thinking about legacy. Every year at New Year's, when I set New Year's resolutions and goals and plans, and I get everything in store, everything ready and fired up for the next year, one thing I always think about is legacy. What did I do in 2017 that's going to pass on to the next generation? And so some things to consider when we look down, and I don't mean look down like look down on other people, like you're looking down on other people like you're better than them. No, I just mean, let's look down the road a little bit. Let's think about our legacy. Let's think about how we can impact the next generation. And some things to consider with looking down. What do I want my funeral to look like? Wow, that's a tough question, especially if you've lost a loved one in 2017 and you've had to experience the funeral. You know, I recently went to a funeral of a friend, a youngster, 15 years old. And man, I'm going to tell you, she impacted a lot of people, and the funeral was packed out with people because she impacted them in a great way. And that's what I want my funeral to look like. I don't want there to be thousands of people there just for the heck of it. I want them to be there because Russ impacted their life in a positive way. And so you got to ask yourself the same question. What do I want my funeral to look like? What positive things can I pass down to the next generation? This is why I speak. This is why I write. This is why I try to post positive things on social media. I want to pass some positive things down to the next generation. And the other thing to consider is, what will I be remembered for? What will I be remembered for? And you got to ask yourself that question as we go into 2018, a brand new year. You got to ask yourself, what will I be remembered for? Okay. I want to challenge you as we look in and we look out and we look up and we look down to think about your life. If you're not happy with any of these areas in 2017, you're in the right place. You're here at the right time. Make 2018 the best year of your life in these areas. Just make a decision today that I'm going to switch direction. I'm going to switch gears. I'm going to begin now to live my life in such a way that I make a difference. As I look in and I look out and I look up and I look down to see how can I help the next generation, okay? The fifth area is look around. Look around. And this is relational. And you need to ask yourself the big question, who do I need to surround myself with in 2018? And this is simply a determination issue. I call this a determination issue because who you surround yourself with will determine what your life looks like at the end of 2018. It'll determine if you're closer to your dream, closer to your goal, or further away, depending on who you surround yourself with. It's relational, and we get this pounded in our head, especially as young people. You're like the 5 people you surround yourself with. You're going to become like them, you know, and man, it's just so true. It's so true, and we can't say it enough, and we have to keep saying it because so many young people don't listen and find themselves in tight spots because of the people that they hang around. And so you got to consider a couple of things. The people around me will affect me. They're going to affect you in one way or another. You just got to decide, is it going to be in a positive way or a negative way, depending on who you surround yourself with. I love this quote by Jim Rohn. He said, it's better to have a few good friends than a lot of bad friends. So we all want a lot of friends. We want a big group. We want a big crew. We want a big circle. And that's all fine if they're the right people. But it's actually better to have just a few good friends than a lot of bad friends pulling you in the wrong direction. Yeah, he goes on to say, it's better to have no friends at all than to have one bad friend. And so I don't know what your friend situation is. I don't know what your relational status is when it comes to people in your life. But this year might be the year for you to let some friendships go, for you to start some new ones, for you to get involved in a different group, get plugged into a church, get plugged into a youth group. I don't know what it is for you. Maybe it's a small group somewhere. It's just a group of like-minded people who can encourage you and support you and lift you up. I want to be around those who lift me up, who are lifters and not lowerers, as I say. Because you're going to be around one of the two people. You're either going to be a lifter or you're going to be a lowerer. And whoever you're around, they're going to help you become like that. So if you want to be an encourager, you want to be somebody who is impacting the next generation, you need to get around other people who are already doing that. You need to get around lifters if you want to be a lifter. If you want to downgrade people, you know, tell dirty jokes, you want to put people down all the time, then just hang around people who do that, and they're going to rub off on you. So look around. Look around. Let's go back through real quick. 5 directions to look for change in your life. If you're just coming on, want to say, hey, thanks for being here. Again, thanks for sharing the stream. Thanks for supporting me in 2017. If you've bought a book, if you've joined any of my online programs that I've had, thank you. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I only create those things and write books. I got 2 more that'll be out early this year, hopefully. But I only do that to make a difference, to make an impact on the next generation. And so you supporting me doing that it encourages me to keep it going and to keep trying to make a difference in the next generation. So thank you. 5 directions to look for change in your life. We look in. It's internal. What can I control that I need to look into? Control the things that I can control the best of my ability. I don't mean in some, overpowering, controlling other people. I'm talking about controlling your own personal life in such a way that you'll be glad that you did it. You got to look out. That's external. There are some things that you simply cannot control. But what you can control is your responsibility, your ability to respond. You get to control how you respond to what somebody else says or what somebody else does. You don't control what they do, but you control your response. Look up. This is an eternal thing. It's a spiritual issue. How can I be who I'm called to be? So in everything, look up. And then we look down. Again, not looking down on people, like looking down upon them. We're looking down on people saying, how can I impact the next generation? Those that are younger than me, those that are less fortunate than I am. How can I impact the next generation? And then we look around. This is all relational. It's a determination issue because it determines which direction you're going to go in your life. Who you surround yourself with will determine where you go in your life. They're going to affect you in one way or another. That being said, I really hope 2018 is the best year of your life. Listen, if you like this little training thing I just did, I got a new little technology software that I'm kind of working with to be able to bring you my screen live on this page. But I'm doing some big things in 2018. And so if you like this training, if you like any of the stuff that I've put out this year, and honestly, I kind of got sidetracked some this year. I didn't put forth as much content as I really like. So I'm really planning to step it up a little bit this year. But if you like what I've been doing, then you're really going to love what I'm going to do this year. I would really love for you to join me this year inside my mentorship program. It's called Generation Giant. You can go to generationgiant.com to register for it. But I'd love for you to go check it out. And you'll see when you get to generationgiant.com, you'll see the page kind of explaining everything about it. But just a little snippet is that, you know, they call it Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Internet. They got all these names for the generations. But most people look down on the current generation. They really look down on them and say, man, they're taking our country down. And they really hate on the young people of today, middle school, high school, college age, young adults, young newly married people. So many adults look down on this generation, and rightfully so. I get it. I understand. This generation has a different mentality, and I get that. That's why I create programs that I create. Generation Giant is what I believe in. I believe in a giant generation, a generation of people who are going to rise up, a generation of people who are going to be difference makers in the world, a generation of people who are going to leave lasting legacies, a generation of people who are going to look in at their own life and control things the best they can. Look out and say, man, I can't control that situation, but I want to control the response the best of my ability. They're going to look up. They're going to say, God, what would you have me do? What do you want me to do with my life? They're going to look down and they're going to say, how can I help the next generation? They're going to say, what can I do to give back? What can I do to help the next generation? No matter what age they are, they want to help the next generation. And then they're going to look around and they're going to surround themselves with the best people they possibly can. I believe in that generation. I believe it's coming. I believe that this generation, the generation that is going to be the leaders for Ezra's life, for my son's life, and my future kids' life, they are going to be a great generation. But they've got to get some tips. They've got to get some encouragement. They've got to get somebody to give them some fire, some encouragement, some inspiration, some motivation, some real world tips, some real life influence, and some real value. And that's what I want to do in Generation Giant. And so if you think that's cool, if you think that's for you, if you think that's for your son or your daughter, please join me in this journey. What you'll get, you go to generationgiant.com and you sign up, you'll get a username and a password, and it'll give you access to weekly coaching and teaching videos kind of like this. And then I'll continue to regularly update material on there. It'll be a library of video, audio, written content. That'll be the plan, to continue to expand that library so you get access to that. As long as you're a member inside the program, you get all the access to it. And then there'll also be in there, you can ask Russ anything, that obviously I can't, because of my time, it's limited. I can't reach everybody in a private way. Through the years, this is really where this came from. Through the years, I've been asked to mentor people's kids personally. And although I would love to do that one-on-one with everybody in the world that wanted that, I wish I could, but I just can't. Time is limited. Life is limited, and I just don't have the time to be able to do that. And so I created this program so that I can kind of do a group coaching, and yet I can also personalize it so people that I know are really serious about wanting to get better and wanting to be the best version of themselves they can possibly be, well, they can come to me, and they have private priority access to me that I just can't offer to everybody. And so once you're inside the program, I know who you are. I can connect with you. We can. I'll give all my personal information so we can talk anytime it's needed. And I really believe that the people inside this program are going to change the world for the better as we go forward. And then not only all that stuff, you'll get exclusive discounts on all of my books, products, and programs that I currently have and that are coming in the future. And so I'm really excited about that because I want you to have, and not only the discounts, but priority access. So when I get ready to release a book, which I got 2 that'll for sure be out in 2018, I'm really excited about releasing those. But when I do, you'll be the first to get access to them, and you'll get them at a discounted rate. When I create online programs, which I have a lot of things that I want to create. My mind's constantly flowing with things that I want to create for you. And when I do, you'll get priority access and you'll get discounts on them. And so be encouraged by that when you come into this thing, right now there's only a couple of videos inside there. So I'm really just starting this thing up so you can get in on the ground floor. So you'll get the username, password, weekly coaching and teaching like this, regularly updated videos, audio, written content, whatever I find that I want to share with you because I believe that you need it and I believe it's going to help the next generation. You'll get access to asking me anything, just like I'm your personal coach. I would love that, to help you in all areas. I really believe that to be the best version you can possibly be, it takes physical, mental, spiritual, mentally, emotionally, relationally, socially, in every area. You want to be well-rounded. And so I really hope you can join me in Generation Giant. If you have any questions, any concerns, private message me here in Facebook. You can email me at russwarren320@gmail.com. But go to www.generationgiant.com to join me. I really believe you're going to be glad you did. And then, so let me put this up here. If you would like, find it right quick. Well, let's see. My email up here, if you can see it. russwarren320@gmail.com. If you have any questions, you could private message me on Facebook, or you could just shoot me an email. I'd love to communicate with you in that area. If you have any questions about anything, I would love to connect with you guys in 2018. I've got big plans for 2018, and I hope you do. Go to generationgiant.com and join me in 2018, making a difference in the world, impacting the next generation, just being a light, being a difference maker in the world, okay? You guys are awesome. Happy New Year, everybody. Celebrate this year. Look in, look out, look up, look down, look around. Just look. Whatever you do, look and be a light, be a difference maker. May 2018 be the best year of your life, and let that only be just the beginning. Decide today that you're going to be the best version of yourself you can possibly become. Forget all the things that have happened in the past. If you have a bad past, so be it. Don't we all have a story? And just look to the future. Forget the past. Press on towards what is ahead. Be a difference maker in the world, and go out and just make a decision. Then every day, live your life in such a way that those dreams can become a reality in your life. I say it like this: dream big, choose wisely, and then live freely without regret, because you're living your life in such a way that He would be proud, and you're living in such a way that your dreams will become a reality because you have your dreams founded in the right way. You're awesome. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks again for sharing. I'll talk to you tomorrow.